Hey everybody, welcome to the Guest Life Podcast, episode 28. Today we have the pleasure of talking to Denise Bowen with WEB ROI. We're going to talk business, marketing, but first we're just going to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, the Guest Life Podcast, episode 28. Thank you so much, guys. Really bridging the gap between, the next level of entrepreneur in the city, people doing big things, giving back, and really showcasing kind of some of the young local talent that we have here in Hamilton and surrounding areas. And Denise is a showcase of that. So today we're going to dive into how she's built her team, management styles, a little bit of her background and how she got into marketing, and then how she helps people, create the vision of their business, get some ROI.
At least we try.
Denise is coming in from Milton. So tell us a little bit about WEB ROI, what you guys do. Subsequently, some of the businesses that I run use WEB ROI, so that's how we got to know each other, and also seeing her at every single event known to man.
Especially now. Happy to be back. Thank you. WEB ROI, we are a digital marketing agency. We focus on lead generation, mostly through search campaigns and website building. We're a team of 12 all over the GTA, so some have been with us for a while. Some we have only met for the first time just recently. So it's nice. It's a nice small knit team, really close.
Well, and the communication between you guys is, I always find unique when it's, as you're building a business and building a brand, really diving into each other as we always say okay, who am I talking to? And if that person dies, who's the next person? So.
Oh, totally. And especially in our industry or in our business, we collaborate on everything. We brainstorm all the time. So having team cohesive it's so important. It's something that we look at when we hire is how well this person's going to mesh with our team. Do they have the same values? Because we work together so closely.
Yeah. And everybody wants to know. I was interested too. I always ask the question, how'd you guys come up with the name WEB ROI?
Well, other than the very obvious return on investment from the web, ROI is king in French too, which is the crown of our logo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it's all kinds of hidden things in there, but it's really all about getting your return on your investment from old school terms. It's web, online, but really just online from the internet.
And you probably see that in the budget. I know I've done it, what's the first thing in the budget that goes when you're not doing well? Marketing.
Always. What's the last thing you should cut though when you're not doing well? Marketing.
Yeah. How do you get your team so involved in kind of that platform in terms of, driving business with so much web presence these days, obviously with COVID being a huge effect. We're in our third website development now with you guys, and just starting to scratch the surface of what is possible. One of the reasons probably on the show is just wow, what you can do when you have a web presence and you have the right people managing it.
Absolutely. And having the right people who are all so goal oriented. So our whole team is driven by results, and they get so fired up when they get results and when they have somebody who come in who says I haven't gotten, like yourself, I haven't gotten a lead from my website. And I don't know. How long had it been before you started working with us?
It had been a long time. I mean, we always had a web presence, but we also had the issue of, we weren't sizable to handle too much more work.
Right.
Right. So the whole SEO and everybody that owns a business knows that somehow you're on some, online forum with your email that you get 36 web companies from all over the world every day, sending you that your website sucks. Yeah. The nice thing now is that I can send them a note back saying, you really think my website sucks?
Here are my results. Yeah. But no, and that's what it all comes down to is the results. So we have to, back up what we say. So as soon as we can start helping a business, as soon as we can start seeing those leads come in, and when we hear that people closed big jobs, or when our clients have increased their sales, or they're getting the right type of leads now and they're spending less time qualifying them. I mean, we have a very active group chat that's just full of memes and gifts and celebrations all the time, because that's such a big part of it is we celebrate together and we celebrate those results, because that's what drives our whole team.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your journey through WEB ROI. How'd you start there? How'd you become managing director? Tell us a little bit about your personal journey.
Yeah, I found WEB ROI a little bit of luck, a little bit of fate. I was moving back from Saskatchewan. I was living there for a few years selling media, so selling advertising. So I knew I loved marketing. I loved working with business owners. I loved hearing people's stories. So Web ROI was hiring an account manager. And I just kind of lucked out that it was good timing when I was moving back. And then over the course of the 5 years, I've worked really closely with the owners, Denise and Jason, and they're at a stage where they were looking to take more of a step out of the business. And I've really stepped in, and now I'm managing director and managing the agency and growing our team and being involved in all sides of the business. It's been a really, really fun journey. I've learned a lot. I have a lot to learn, but it's been a good time. It's something I truly look forward to every day. It's great.
Yeah. And so what were you doing in Saskatchewan? How'd you get into that? Like, what's your background? What's your credentials? What's your story?
I got a weird. So I went to school for medical radiation. So I
Okay.
was in the hospital and in private clinics, and props to anybody who can do that job, but it was not for me, and I knew it right away. But I had committed to 3.5, 4 years of school at that point, so I was going to finish my placement. And then we moved out to Saskatchewan for my husband's job opportunity. And I went back to school for business, just knowing that I was not made for the medical world. And yeah, and then started working for a company out there that was selling different websites and marketing strategies. So I was traveling all over the province. Not pleasant in the wintertime if you've ever been to Saskatoon, but lovely in the summer. But traveling all over and meeting with all kinds of different businesses and all types of different industries. And just, I loved all of it. And then life brought us back to Ontario. So,
Oh, that's amazing. So, and it's again, I would have never known that. Or if you don't ask the question, you'll never know, guys. And that's one of the things about the podcast that's so great is, how do you get in that, habit of getting a little bit deeper when you're kind of meeting somebody? So tell us about the transition through Web ROI from like kind of start to finish in terms of managing director, kind of getting that pieces in the puzzle, and obviously, Jason and Denise trusting you with their baby that they built, done a great job, and then now you're building on a team with, I can't even name everybody that I've spoken to there.
I know we're growing fast. Just it's always been in my personality to make relationships with everybody. So I was instantly with my clients that I had at the time, even with our team members. I'm a people person for sure. So building strong relationships right off the bat, and then investing in the leadership skills and education, and going to different things and reading different books, and really figuring out what I wanted and where I wanted to be, and just thankful that Denise and Jason recognized that I was the right fit for that as well. So it just kind of happened in a I don't know.
Quick and
I
rapid
don't have to.
speed.
It just kind of happened really seamlessly, and yeah.
That's amazing. So like, and so when you're talking to businesses, especially like, I always wanted to do marketing, right? Like when we talk about marketing and strategy and stuff like that.
Everybody always wants to do
Yeah.
marketing.
The big thing that I don't have a clue on is how to actually track it, the back end, the analytics, this, whatever you guys talk about, all about it when we kind of get into it. But like, when you're talking to a clientele and you know that they have a good business model,
Mhm.
and then they come to you and they say, well, we need more sales. What's the strategy around kind of education to the client so that, they can understand the process that they go through?
Yeah. So, and just like yourself, everybody always loves marketing, and marketing can be really flashy and attractive in certain ways. But then what we always like to focus on is there are so many bright, shiny objects. There's so many new things coming out. There's new social platforms. There's new different things that are so easy to get distracted. And that's not actually what we do at all. We focus on the core basics. So, how do we get traffic to your website, and how do we get that traffic to turn into sales? Because you can hear all about TikTok and Instagram, all the different things that you're able to do, but will that actually result in sales? So just looking at who your target is, what is your goal, and do you have the foundation in place to even start doing some of those other activities?
Yeah. And then when you're vetting a client to see if they fit within your niche,
Hmm.
which is something that I think takes years of kind of practice and understanding, and going through those challenging clients and then getting a great client and saying like, okay, do we even have a system in place to identify that?
Yes. So definitely fine tuning. It's an ever changing thing as well to fine tune that, but having a niche is really important. We follow EOS, which I see all your books back there. So you see the
Yeah.
Entrepreneur Operating System, and it's about creating that target list, right? So who do you want to work for? Or who do you want to, like, what businesses do you want to work with? And we really fine tuned our list and focusing on niches and growing off that, because I always think it's more important to be something specific to somebody rather than trying to be everything to everyone.
For sure. And it takes years, right? Like, I mean, 5 years ago, if you asked me to build a fence, we'd be building a fence.
Yeah.
Now we know what we specialize in.
You know when to say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's the best no is a yes, right? And I think that kind of getting ingrained, especially in the digital marketing world. There's so many avenues. I know I did so much research before even coming to you guys. And then also, like, there's different platforms for different strategies.
There's so much. Yeah, we have to pick our specialty, and we know what we're really good at, and we try not to stray away from that. It's tempting at times, and we'll try and maybe we should take this on, and we quickly learn, nope, we know what we're good at, and we know who we do it well for. So we
Yeah.
just have to really stay in our lane and grow that and go as big as we can.
Yeah. And what are some of the goals?
We are fully virtual now. So it kind of opened up some opportunities of where our staff can be and where our clients can be. So we are looking at some US clients as well. But our goals are just for more businesses like that we have, more businesses helping more clients. We have a 10-year goal of helping 360 clients that started last year. So we wanted to put something tangible in place. That's all what it comes down to, is we want to
EOS.
help businesses. Exactly.
Yeah.
EOS, right? And what is that 10-year goal? And as a management, we can talk on revenues and profit about what our 10-year goal is. But to our staff, that wasn't really a number they could grasp or that they really related to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to be X million. That doesn't matter to them as much. Then we said we want to help 360 businesses, and we have a thermometer that every quarter we look at how many more businesses we've helped to get to our 10-year goal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's just been a change in mindset. You can just see it's for them, it's something that it's just more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. ROI, KPI, different things, different analogies
All the same.
coming together.
All the acronyms.
So what's been the most challenging thing that you've kind of had to deal with getting from, switching careers, going back to school, changing locations, and now getting into a management position? What is a challenge? What's your what are the next big things for you?
You never know. One of the biggest, not to be so cliche, but COVID and moving virtual was one of the biggest challenges. As I mentioned, our team was so close and we brainstormed all the time and we fed off each other's energy. So then to go fully remote and to break the news that we would not be returning, even when we didn't know when everything would be back to normal, but even when it does, we wouldn't be returning. That was tough. And our team it took it hard. And I'm, trying to manage that change in their lives as well as all the other uncertainty and chaos of the world that they were going through. So it was definitely a really, really challenging time. As a team, I think we came out a lot stronger and we kind of learned what we needed to do. We went from having daily virtual huddles for a couple of weeks to realizing okay, we don't need to do this anymore. We're good. To just finding our stride of how that'll work for us.
Yeah, and adapting to the different times.
Yeah, nobody likes change.
Yeah, unless it's a painkiller in a bathroom. And then so taking that back, right? I mean, we were fortunate enough to, you're not going to pull me out of my office, but at the same time, working remote for some people at the beginning sounded great. Oh, I get to work from home. I get some freedom. The boss doesn't have to see if my camera's on and I can be doing something else. How do you keep your team kind of engaged in those goals and also give them some freedom to, I think you guys do daily walks or something to get out of the house?
Yeah, we try different challenges. We've done some fitness challenges or different things. We did a mental health challenge or a wellness challenge. We have touch points throughout the week, and then Fridays we leave for a complete virtual social happy hour type thing that I thought may fizzle out, but we've it seems to be the highlight of everybody. Like we still are really engaged in that. So
Really? Oh,
mhm.
that's awesome.
I thought at the beginning of COVID, I thought, okay, a couple months of this and nobody will want to do it anymore. But no, our Friday calls will sometimes go for 2 hours. Everyone just no work talk, just sit and chat and get that kind of personal level back. So,
Oh, that's amazing.
which is so important when we had new staff. Our running joke was we don't even know how tall some people are because they'll have started and like we haven't seen them or met them in person yet, but it doesn't. And then when you do meet them, there's no awkwardness. It just felt so
Yeah.
normal because we've had those kind of engagements. And then we do commit one day a quarter, just a complete fun day. So something fun event in September, we're going paintballing and just,
Oh, nice.
yeah, just something, just team building. And then one quarterly like work meeting
And that's in person.
in person.
And what do you guys do for that?
So it's our EOS quarterly full
Yeah.
rock creation, financial review. We're very transparent with all kinds of things. So our goals, our financials, everything that we go through. And then it gives us an opportunity to do some brainstorming as well.
Yeah. So I know me and you say EOS a lot of the times, but I actually haven't had someone on the show that's actually using
Oh,
EOS. So why don't we dive into that for a minute just to show the viewers. So
yeah.
how has EOS been impacting your business?
So we've been following EOS for quite some time. It is the Entrepreneur Operating System. For those of you who don't know, by Gino Wickman. We follow it pretty strictly. We have all of our staff read the What the Heck is EOS? It's the intro book. And it just provides such great structure. And I think it helps. We run our weekly meetings off their structure. We run quarterly meetings. We have different metrics in place. It helps us with performance reviews, with really everything. We have our elite management team read How to Read a Great Boss. It gives us such a guidance and structure on a great way to scale and grow and run different things.
Yeah.
Do you guys incorporate some of this stuff as well?
So we're just going through it now. The EOS book for everybody that's listening is Traction. That's kind of the staple book. When I joined a group called Tech, so it's the Executive Committee Canada. It's a peer mentorship group and coaching. And everyone was kind of thriving about this. Oh, you got to read Traction and EOS, or they were like talking about scaling up. So I'm always a skeptic, and I'm like, okay, I've got to be first, and I've got to understand it before I can tell anybody else to do it.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I read the book and was like, damn it, like.
Yeah. And they give you all the templates.
Oh
It's
man,
like, yeah.
you can't
not.
unread it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a no-brainer, as I was told, 15 different times. I knew when four people had bought me the book, I knew I had to read it. And this was when I didn't read, so that was a challenge as well. And then it was, just starting implementation. So we just had our first retreat day. We go through this process. It takes about 2 years for anybody that's listening. And there's actually a program where you can get an EOS implementer to give you a hand, which we did. Again, as an owner or manager, sometimes it's hard, I find, to kind of implement it without everybody feeling like this is it's a you thing.
Yeah.
It is so much a team thing. Everybody benefits from it. Transparency, roles and responsibilities, clarity, communication, like
accountability.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, it's they really hit the nail on the head. And I mean, every business that I speak to, it's just I haven't heard a bad thing.
Me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is wild in the community. We always say we use the term don't reinvent the wheel, just pump up the tire.
Right?
Yeah.
I know they got something good there. So
Yeah, that's amazing. So when it comes down to working from home, how do you separate personal life and work life? Is there a hard stop? Do you have some dog time in between? What do you do?
yeah, it's a work in progress. We are definitely something I'm always trying to get better at. I was lucky. I attended the Global Leadership Summit a few weeks ago, and something that really stuck with me is healthy leaders need healthy rhythms of rest. And as I'm sure for yourself, that can be difficult to like have that dedicated break time. So I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of routine. I've had to exactly that, put in breaks and structure time into my calendar where it is walk the dog for 30 minutes at lunch and different things throughout my day to make sure I do have that in there. But then on the other hand, it's going back. We will never go back to it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to close my laptop, drive home, and not think about work for the rest of the night. Like my office is beside my kitchen. So I have everything that I need to do at my fingertips.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to have this so much effort into making things so separate, it's kind of rebalancing and looking at it from the different angle and looking at the positives of having a more blended approach. So what does that enable me to do? To have laundry at 11 o'clock or have somebody come fix my furnace in the middle of the day that I wouldn't be able to before. So it's kind of a change in mindset as well. And instead of trying so hard to separate my work and life, it's kind of accepting a more blended and looking at the positives.
Yeah.
So we had a team discussion around this. Like, are you working from home or are you living at work? And like, what is that line? And does there need to be a line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting.
So
I always was, I'd always feel super guilty as a business owner taking any time off or going to a massage in the middle of the day or having an appointment where I wasn't working and being like, well, what if my staff knew I was going to the gym at 9 a.m., right?
right.
I should be working. And I used to feel this like overwhelming guilt because it was just like, but then I'd work on the weekends and I'd take my after hours call and I'd always be on the phone and I'm always thinking about work. And it's like, how do you kind of let everybody know that, no, you're always working. So this is the only time you have. And I think like that's such a nice way of looking at it as a blended approach, which is, like, hey, I'm going to open my laptop tonight because I feel like it. I've got nothing going on. And tomorrow maybe I'll go for a hike in the middle of the day.
Yeah. And why do you need to have everyone know that this was your only time available, right? And that's something I try and communicate to everyone so they feel comfortable to do that. You set your schedules. It can be blended. We are fully virtual. So you don't need to have these hard start and stops.
Yeah.
And kind of enjoy the perks and take advantage of things, even if that creates a little bit more of a blended approach.
Yeah. When it keeps people motivated, I find, because at the end of the day, like being on someone's throat is not motivating them. Right.
Never.
We talked about it the other day. It's like yelling at each other doesn't work.
No. And do you ever want to go above and beyond for someone who yells, screams at you?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So on that topic, personal and work life, let's talk about the extracurriculars because you are at someone from WEB ROI is at every single event I think I've ever been to with the organization that we're both a part of, which is the WEHBA, the West End Home Builders Association. Tell us a little bit about how you guys make that such a priority, why you make it such a priority, and how you kind of get so involved in the community.
So we're B2B. We sell to businesses and associations like the West End Home Builder Association is part of our niche. So it's so important to us to be involved in local organizations and associations, but then also where businesses that we want to do business with hang out.
Yeah.
So we're part of BNI and local chamber, but the Home Builder Association and different associations along those lines are it's important for us. It's important for our marketing. Our team is also loves networking and being around people. So it gives good opportunities, especially now with everyone being at home. So it gives them an opportunity to be out. We're actually looking at joining other associations now in other areas because our staff has expanded into new areas and different geographies. So it's exciting to start to look at where else we can be present and be active because it's what we like to do.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the organization, like I think you're on a board as well. You're on the marketing committee. That makes sense.
Yeah, I chair the marketing committee. Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
But yeah, being part of the under 40 chair as well, we look at you get out what you put in.
Absolutely.
And then just like some of the local initiatives that you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit harder virtually by trying to support organizations that are important to our staff. So we did, like a giving blood drive when we were able to all be in Milton and giving blood to the local, the drives that are in the local communities or different donations. Every year we ask the staff where they want to have their donations go to, and they get to provide the charity and organizations too. So just making sure that everybody feels involved in the giving back and that they get to partake in things that are important to them.
Yeah.
Is really important for us.
Yeah, we just made a switch to now we try to do one thing every quarter.
Yeah.
But the one that we just did was so great because the staff came up with it. It wasn't just a me idea. And I mean, it means a lot because you don't also know what everybody's going through and what organizations mean a lot to them, right? Getting the team involved and being involved in the community just goes so far, I find, as a business. for different people and giving back to the communities that really give to you, right?
And then for your team too, to feel like they get to be more a part of it and that their opinion counts and that, you're all in this together, and it's a big part of it for our
Yeah.
team.
No, it's so crucial. So younger you, looking back, what advice would you give to younger you?
Pick the right degree. No, I take that back. Education, never a waste. I feel like you can learn something from all experiences. I can name every bone in the body if anybody ever wants to know how is that valuable. But younger me, and something I think I still need to have some internal conversations with myself would be to stop comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
It's so easy. In social media, you look at somebody else's life, what they're doing, somebody else's job. It's so hard not to compare it to yours. But that comparison culture, it leaves no room for gratitude. And a big focus has been to try and look at, what are my goals and my achievements and my accomplishments, and then what do I need to do to get to where I want to be and not where somebody else is off their Instagram. So
yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, it's so challenging in business, I find, especially in our younger years, we always used to say we don't have competition. And it's like, well, that's something I used to say to kind of make myself feel good. But I was always comparing myself to everybody, right? How many staff do you have? What are your sales? What are you doing? And as soon as you can kind of slow that process down and say, how can we be the best version of us?
And what do we want to be? Yeah.
Exactly. And not be everything to everybody, just like you talked about earlier. And then, so how do you see yourself getting this abundance going forward? How do you see yourself, helping 350 clients?
In 10 years. It's a time where we are investing in marketing and sales for ourselves too. It's never a time to cut back your marketing. So looking at we're trying different things. And I think that's a good time and a different time in our organization. So trying some different marketing initiatives, trying some different sales approach, joining different things, looking at different speaking engagements. So trying to get further reach through different channels is kind of where our big push is right now to get them to the next step.
Yeah. And I guess the one thing that everybody's talking about now is how do you attract great staff? And do you have a process for, those staff when they get in to make sure they're the right fit?
Yeah, the hiring world's not fun. It's long, and it can be, go through a lot of different resumes to find the right one. We have a pretty extensive interview process.
Yep.
It's, 3 or 4 stages. It's long, can be a couple hours at a time per interview. So you start to get a good feel for it, and you start to kind of know who the right fit would be, but then making sure that they're happy. It's virtual training's tough. So we'll sit on Zoom or sit on Teams for, 8 hours their first day, and try and making sure we have really good processes in place for onboarding so that they can come on and feel like this is part of an organization that has their stuff together. Like, I don't want to get bleeped out here.
Yeah.
Has all their stuff together, and that they can feel like they're really welcomed, and they have all of their training and manuals, everything, all laid out for them, whether that be through video or whatever's needed.
And how long is that process taken to create?
Oh, it's not over. It's years.
Just
and
so
it's
everybody knows, it's not over. It's never over.
Because just when you think you have one thing down, there's a change and you have to update all your no, it's not over.
Yeah.
It's ever changing, growing.
Yeah. And did you ever think that before you became a manager? And
No, I thought I could have this little nice onboarding folder and here we go, everybody. No.
Yeah.
No.
We're creating our own onboarding process and getting creative and just trying to how do you display your culture and what you stand for in, an external job post.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, how to be attractive, what it's like, your website's a big presence. And for us, it's, as you guys know, we're changing a little bit about our careers page to say like, you know what, it's not just, hey, we have a job posting. Someone's going to go to the careers page because they're looking for a career. What's it like here? It's not just what jobs we do. It's about, what we offer, who we are as people, what our standards are, what our culture's like. And kind of, just get, attracting, but also it's not, we hate the term poaching. It's educating for future growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a huge part of it too, right? I mean, there's so many job opportunities for everybody that you have to put why you're different. Honestly, the jobs are not that different. I mean, if you want to run paid ads with us or run paid ads somewhere else, you're doing the same types of things.
For sure.
But why us? What makes us different? Why do you want to work for us? Exactly. What are our values and what do we offer that's different?
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a big part of it, and I think a lot of people don't spend enough time, us included. We always ask ourselves constantly, what's our biggest challenge right now? And then I say, so what are we doing about it? And then the next question is, and how much time we're spending on it? Our biggest challenge, usually you avoid, and usually you're spending no time on. And that's what we find is like, as soon as you can kind of flip that switch and dive into, hey, if hiring is our biggest issue, let's take 10 hours a week to solve our biggest problem. Wow, it's working, right?
Right.
And we're finding that we can do that kind of with anything, whether it's an inventory, whether it's structuring guys on site, whether it's process procedures, whether it's onboarding. Let's dial into our biggest problem, which most people procrastinate and shy away from. But it's, again, creating a process to kind of dig in, which I think is great. And again, it shows in the product and the service.
And typically solving your biggest problem then solves all your small ones too, right?
Yeah. EOS.
It's just not fun. EOS.
Yeah, EOS.
It's all genome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Denise.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And we always ask the question, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, episode 28. We always want to ask ourselves these questions. Why not me? Why not now? Remember to follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube, Spotify now, Apple Music. Denise and WEB ROI will have all their stuff online. If you want to reach out to them to get some return on investment on your website, don't be scared. Take the leap. You can handle more business. You can handle more challenges. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Boom.
Boom.